All right, so I'm going to go over this proof number 17, where we're given a triangle and we're trying to prove that the interior angles are equal to 180. So we already know this is true, but we're going to actually show why it's true. Okay, well, we're going to need some other things in this picture in order to help us prove this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a parallel line to AC through B. So we're going to draw a parallel line through B. Okay, so it crosses here even though it doesn't look like it. Okay, so this is parallel to this. Why can we do that? Well, because the parallel line postulate. There's exactly one parallel line to another through a point. Okay. All right, so now let's label our angles. So we're going to call this, just for the sake of being able to talk about the angles, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. So we're trying to prove that 2 plus 4 plus 5 equals 180. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to say is that we were given triangle ABC. And the next thing we're going to say is what we did. We drew the parallel lines. We're going to draw a line parallel to AC through B. And that's the parallel line postulate. All right, so now we need to look at these angles, and it's going to be a little bit similar to how we proved exterior and remote interior angles. Okay, so now what we're going to say is what's obvious. We know that angles 1, 2, and 3, so the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180. And that's because of the angle addition postulate. Okay, so these three angles added together equal the entire thing, which is supplementary 180. It's a straight line. It's a straight angle, straight angle. All right, we also know, remember these are parallel lines, okay? So I have some alternate interior angles here. So 1 and 4 are alternate interior angles, which means they're congruent. And so is 3 and 5. 3 and 5 are also alternate interior angles. All right, so the next thing I'm going to say is that just what I just did. Angle 1 and angle 4 are alternate interior. And angle 3 and angle 5 are alternate interior. And that's because I know the definition. So that's definition of alternate interior angles. And now because they're parallel, I know that they are, I know that they're congruent. Okay, so number 5 is going to be that the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 4, and measure of angle 3 equals measure of angle 5. I'll fix this in just a second. And we know that because of the alternate interior angle theorem. Sorry. Struggling here. All right, let me make this smaller for you. That didn't make it smaller, just change the font. I don't care about that. Okay. So number 5 over here is going to be, again, the alternate interior angle theorem. All right. And then the last thing is we're just going to substitute. So let me break down the substitution for you. So if 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 180 and 1 equals 4, then I can substitute a 1, or I can substitute a 4 for 1, right? Remember, I want 2 plus 4 plus 5 equals 180. Okay, so my last statement is going to be, let me see if I'm going to try something here. It's not going to work. Okay, well, whatever. We're just going to have to go with it. So our last statement is going to be that the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180. And that's by substitution. Okay. So, again, if 1 equals 4, I can substitute that. And 2 equals 2, I don't have to do anything with that. That stays the same. And then 3 equals 5. So that's what I just substituted. Okay? Sorry, it's really messy, but hopefully that makes sense to you. I would encourage you to practice that proof again. And make sure you know the proofs that we went over in class also. Okay, I also want to go back and look at these problems here. Okay, please make sure you know the formulas. Okay, if it is a regular triangle with, it's not equilateral, you use the long S, which is Heron's theorem, where you have S equals A plus B plus C over 2, and then you have to plug that into the square root of S times S minus A, S minus B, and S minus C. Common mistake that people are making, number one, they're not dividing by 2 here. The other mistake people are making is that they're not subtracting the side lengths from the semi-perimeter. You're just doing S times A times B times C. That's not going to work. This is also a non-equilateral triangle, so use the same formula. Equilateral is S squared times the square root of 3 over 4. S is the side, so it'd be 4 squared square root of 3 over 4. Okay, distance. Distance formula, you should know that. Midpoint, you should know that. Okay, x1 plus x2 over 2, and then y1 plus y2 over 2. That's the midpoint. This is the x value. This is the y value. Okay, point. Distance is not a point. Y'all keep putting points for your distance. Like you tell me the distance is 3, 4. That doesn't make sense. Distance is not a point. It is a value. Okay? Distance is not a point. It's a value. And then the equation of the line. Okay, so let me remind you. Point slope form is the easiest form to use. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So what 3 things do you need? You need a y1, which means you need a y value of a point. You need m, which is slope, and you need x1. x1, y1 is a point. So you need 1 point and a slope. Well, in this problem, they give us a and b, so they gave us 2 points. Well, if they gave us 2 points, then I can find the slope because I know the formula. Once I find my slope, I can pick either point. You can use either point when you're writing this equation. It doesn't matter. Okay? Notice how this 2 is negative. If I'm using this point to write in this formula, I have to make sure if I'm subtracting a negative, that turns into a plus. Be aware of that. There's plenty of Khan Academy assignments that you can search on your own if you don't know how to write equations or find the distance or the midpoint. Khan Academy has plenty of that work for you. So then don't forget these are isosceles, okay? Because these angles are congruent, then that means these side lengths are congruent. That was the last video you should have watched. Okay, and this is showing that these two sides are congruent. So this is not relevant, but that just means that these angles are also congruent. Okay, so you would set 18 equals x squared minus 3x. Subtract 18 from both sides. So you get x squared minus 3x minus 18 equals 0 over here. And you factor it. Find the factors. And then you set the factors equal to 0 and solve. Oh my gosh, y'all, please. These are remote interior angles to the angle 1. Okay, these are called remote interior. This is the exterior. These are the remote interior. And we did this in class. All right, so let me, I want to just go over one more thing. So I'm going to do, all right, so these lines are parallel. And then I've got this guy and that guy. So if I know that this angle is 42 degrees, then I also know that this angle is 42 degrees. Let me back up. Let me, okay. So let's say that this is the angle that's given. All right. Then I also know, like I said, that this is 42. If I know that this is 42, then this is 42 because those are alternate interior because the black lines are parallel. Okay, the red is the transversal. And this would be 180 minus 42. So 180 minus 42 is 8 for 148. No, borrowed from the 8. 138, sorry. Back up. So then this is 42 and this is 138. All right, now if this, okay, so we're looking at this red transversal, then that means that this angle here is 138. This entire thing is 138. So if I know one of these, I can find the other because I can subtract it from 138, okay? So just be careful when you have parallel lines and then you have multiple transversals. Again, use your highlighters to help you see that. And you should be good to go. All right, so that's really all I wanted to go over. Please practice your constructions. There aren't a whole lot, but there are some, and you have your constructions test coming up also, so you need to be studying for that. Good luck studying. If you have any questions, you can email me, and I will do my best to answer them. I'll be available Monday morning, so Monday a.m., Monday lunch, but I'm not going to be here unless you tell me that you need me to be here. And then I will be here Tuesday a.m. from 7:15 to 7:45. Okay? Shoot me an email if you want to come by. Good luck studying. Enjoy your day off. Don't waste it, and I'll see you soon.